I just excited to be back. Frankly, this was our first somewhat practice. We're in shorts, but geez, feels like there's a level of normalcy here. Based on what I just read, maybe not at Syracuse, but our guys are excited to play.
And with that,
other than that, shoot away. Let me shut the door. Go ahead.
Hey, Randy, Pat was on here just telling us, hey, when you talk to our players, don't ask them if they've arrived. They have not arrived. Nobody has arrived. All that being said, when you look at the talent that you have on that side of the ball, I mean, do you feel almost like a little bit of a kid in the candy store a little bit with the options that you have and the things you can do?
It's a fun group to coach. I got to be honest with you. Sure, they're talented, but they're also just a great bunch of guys, and with our staff all being back again, which I think, as you guys know, continuity breeds success, not only with the staff but with the players. The fun thing is that the players know what I'm going to say before I say it. The coaches know, and they all know I'm weird as I can be, as you guys know also. So they don't flinch, and that part, the experience is the thing that I enjoy the most. Their level of athletic ability, you always will that as a coach, but I've coached with many great athletes who turned into just average guys because they don't exceed their level of skill, or at least get to it. And that's the thing I'm most proud of this group, is that to this point they have reached their potential, and the guys who are lesser potential have a lot of times exceeded it. And that's what we try to breed with the defense.
Randy, how does that – go ahead, Jerry.
Oh, okay. Randy, it's good to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you too.
I just wanted to ask you about there's 4 guys who could be earning NFL paychecks right now who decided to come back and for another special season. What does that mean to the rest of the unit to see those guys actually want to come back and defer or hold off on their NFL futures, but do something special here in Pitt?
Well, I would say to you this, Jerry, as I see it, is that these guys give us an ability to teach young guys through the older guys. And what I mean by that is when you watch these guys work, when you watch their demeanor, when you watch their experience, our younger guys get to watch that. Not only are they getting coached fantastic by great coaches, not including me, but their position guys, but they also get the ability to watch players play at a very high level. And then the thing that I've really challenged that group is that the more they can teach and give their experience to the younger guys, the better we'll be. And that really is how I've kind of attacked those guys, from a standpoint of they need to give more back, because the more they can teach our younger guys from their experience, not necessarily from their talent, but from their experience and the way they play, the better we'll be with the younger guys, because I truly expect many of those younger guys to play a lot.
Randy, with so many guys across the country kind of now opting out over the last week, were you ever nervous or worried that any of those 4 guys, Jalen, Paris, DeMar, or Patrick, would do the same? Never.
I'll be frank with you. They came back to play for Pitt. They came back to play for their teammates, and it would be very shocking to me, and especially going out there today and watching them play. Jesus, they're so excited to be out there with each other. It's like I said, it's a fun thing to watch.
Randy, what does that experience allow you to do? Can you be more creative, more aggressive? How does that experience translate on the field as far as coming up with schemes?
Well, schemes are all really cool, and I'm not very smart, so we don't have a lot of fancy schemes because I can't figure it out. Our players are smarter than me with a lot of that. But let me put it to you this way. my biggest fear is not scheme and all that. We've had a lot of time to design a lot of crap, but truthfully, it is a lot of crap. The bottom line is we haven't played a game since December. We haven't tackled anybody since December. We haven't gotten off a block since December. We had, 2, maybe 3 practices in the spring. We got nothing done in the spring from a basic standpoint. And so when I talk to our players, I talk to them, we'll have plenty of scheme because we are experienced. But for us to be great on defense, we have to be able to take on blocks and get off of them. And we have to be able to tackle. And I believe there's going to be a lot of bad football this year because there's going to be less of that being able to be practiced, right? There are some teams that didn't get to practice at all in the spring. And based on what I hear around the country, who knows how many days a week they're going to tackle and take on blocks, right? So that is, whether it's college or NFL, the biggest challenge is, those basic things in football you have to do daily to be great at them. And the thing that I pray that happens is we do have experience. Maybe we're going to be lucky enough to be able to do a little bit less of that and still be good at it. Does that make sense? As opposed to other guys. But when it comes right down to it, you win football games with basic tackling, blocking, getting off blocks, all those kind of things. And for us to be great, that's what we're going to have to do over the next month is get good at that. I truly believe all the scheme and all that, it's all good, but you're going to see a lot of missed tackles and things that, you would hope you not see in football.
You talked about the guys who came back and kind of what you're expecting out of them. What about DeMar specifically? What does he mean for your defense? I mean, on the field, off the field, what does he bring, and how big was it to get him, individually to return to the team?
Well, the nice thing with DeMar is that here's a Pittsburgh guy giving back to Pittsburgh football. That's the thing I think is the biggest excitement for me. All the people in Pittsburgh obviously relate to him. They're excited about him. They saw him in high school. So I think the whole city's excited about him coming back. For me specifically, he gives me experience, leadership, and all those intangibles that come with that. I can go to him and tell him where I'm going to go today with how I'm going to treat the team, how I'm going to attack the defense from a mentality standpoint. And then he can back me up and talk to him afterward. And, it's really great that they're listening to me talk, but when they listen to him and especially all of our older leaders, I think the younger kids embrace it better when they hear it from their peers than they do from me. So I would say that'd be the number one thing is that there's rarely a time that I don't speak about something he doesn't totally get where I'm coming from and then back it up with something that he's got experience-wise. So that would be my big take on that.
Did you see him having a big influence on Paris specifically last year?
Oh, without question. He's got a couple more years of experience and he passes that experience along to Paris. And I think they both feed off each other. So again, it's fun to watch two Pittsburgh guys running that secondary and being leaders and playing with a high level of emotion and excitement. And there's days they get me really juiced up, especially last year. This year, hopefully I can bring some back with it.
Randy, it's nice having a lot of experience on your defense, but I'm sure you've seen this level of experience before in your career. How did those seasons turn out, and how did you see the experience playing out as the season went along?
Well, I would put that this way. The experience is good, and experience is also something that can be bad. I told the defensive line, there's a good likelihood we'll get less sacks this year. Not because we're not better at sacks, because people are smart enough not to hold the ball. And hopefully if we're dominant on defense, we won't have as many plays. All those things, you have to have a level of maturity. And I've brought the upperclassmen in many times and said, guys, there's got to be a level of maturity that, we're going to take you out for a couple plays. And there's a reason for that. And you have to trust us. And I believe that there is a level of trust at this point that we won't have problems with that. But it's also, it's something that you have to be prepared for. Will it turn out great? I believe it will. The one thing that, we have talked since really March about, you guys know I've had some military type things, but I actually coached and studied with the Navy SEALs. And our mantra right now is AIO, which is adapt, improvise, and overcome. And every day there's something unique that's going on, that how we attack it, how we adapt to it, is how we will win or lose. And what I mean by that is here's a good example. What if Bates on Thursday turns up with COVID and is not here for the game? Are we going to, I told the kids, well, shit, you guys are going to celebrate. But, if Damar Hamlin comes in on Thursday with COVID, are we going to embrace it? Or are we going to put our head down and say, damn, we don't have as good a shot now? And I think every day we are doing things, I'm doing things to create havoc and chaos in their life that we have to adapt to, because who the heck knows what's going to happen? Are we going to play Syracuse the second game? Who knows, right? They may walk in and say, hey, we're going to play Ohio State the second game because that's all we have left. How are we going to embrace it? And that's kind of the way I'm taking every day as it goes. Think about last year, we lost Weaver in camp within 2 weeks, and we embraced it. And that's why we were successful. And so I don't know what it's going to bring. Every day seems to bring something different. One day I'm allowed to, we're going to a different color, and then we're dropping back to a different color, and I can't go out and eat. And the next day I can. And you guys are living it, right? You guys are looking at me through a freaking telescope right now, right? I mean, embrace it or you can whine about it. And I think the team that has success this year in football is the team that's not going to whine about it. They're going to embrace it and find a way to win. For me last year, it was embrace the suck of having some issues, you know what I mean? And I could either whine about it or I could find a way to survive it. And so, it's, that old saying, it sounds like life to me. Well, that's the way it is. So.
Randy, what kind of things are you doing to create chaos at practice so they would have to overcome things? What kind of little things are you doing in practice?
Oh, there's times that I change shit up on the coaches. They don't even know I'm going to change it up. I tell dudes, but we change periods right in the middle, and I throw shit at them in the middle of practice. We're scheduled to do this, and I blow the whistle up and we change to that. And, so the players kind of have an idea what's going to go on at practice. And I think they get a mindset. And then when you change it up on them at practice, that's kind of some things I do. Meetings, I change up meetings and throw things at them. Or Damar Hamlin's out this period, go over and coach, or go signal to the defense, and just little things like that. I can't give you all of them up yet because I got most of them still coming. Remember, this is the first day. So, but I've had 100 days to sitting in my living room like you guys right now, thinking about weird things that I'm going to do. So, and you guys know me well enough to know there won't be anything normal. So I'll show you one. You want me to show you one real quick that I haven't done yet? So here's one right here. Can you see that? Can you see what that is? It's a pump, right? And so as I get into two-a-days and they get whiny and crabby and all that shit, I pull out the pump. The pump is you got to keep pumping because you know what? What do you want? You want water, right? But if you stop because you haven't had water, you know where the water goes? Goes back down, and you have to start over again. And you have to have faith that water is going to come out at some point. So that would be one. I got a million stupid things like that. So.
Where'd you get the pump, Randy? Looks like it's 100 years old.
Yeah, it's classified. It's just a year younger than me. I got a few other ones. I'll show them to you afterward here, but I've been looking for things for the last 100 days. So I've called up favors from people back home, if you know what I mean.
Randy, I'm curious from your perspective, what makes Jalen great and what is his ceiling?
Well, let's hope we don't find his ceiling. Let's hope they find it a few years from now. But I think they did that with Aaron Donald, probably. All those people that said he was too small and everything else. I think the number one thing with Jalen is he is an off-the-field machine. What I mean by that is his level of preparation and study far exceeds the normal college football player. And the beautiful thing about that is that he then passes that along to everybody else.
Randy, you're talking about Twyman, and Jimmy Morrissey sort of falls into this category too. How did they miss guys? I mean, how did guys get missed to the extent where, Jimmy's talking about I didn't really have any options. Jalen obviously not sought after. And then they get here, it happens all over, I guess. I mean, these aren't the only two guys in the country this happens to, but how do guys get missed and then sort of flourish like this? Why does it happen?
Well, I would say, Will, the big thing is that a lot of college football programs don't recruit with their gut feeling, if that makes sense. Maybe that's an old man talking, but a lot of people, all they do, you guys read every day who's winning the national recruiting awards, right? Who's number one right now in the country in recruiting in 2021? Do you guys know? Wow, that's disappointing. But no, I'm just kidding you. But it really doesn't matter. Did you know that more than 50% of the 5-star guys didn't graduate from college? And what I guess my point is, there's a lot of schools right now, because it's a younger generation of coach, they just recruit based on the stars. Does that make sense? And these people that are putting all these stars on people, they don't do a whole lot of research on their character. I think 5 of the 5-star guys didn't qualify for college. So, you can be a 5-star guy, but heck, if you can't read, it doesn't matter, right? You aren't even going to college. And so I would say to you this, the intangibles of the 2 guys I'm looking at right now, Morrissey and Pickett, that's why they're successful. It has nothing to do with the stars that they have in high school. Does that make sense? And you I guess, growing up as an older coach, we went out at one point and evaluated them. We didn't look at 5 stars and 4 stars. We took our gut feeling, and those were the guys that we wanted. And I think that may be missing a little bit now. There's a whole bunch of recruiting guys in a recruiting office, and really most of them are looking at who's the number 1 top recruit in the country, right? Well, we got to get him so we win the National Recruiting Award, right? But you know what the National Recruiting Award is? How a kid plays as a junior and senior. If he plays as a junior and senior as a great player, whether he was a 1-star or a 5-star, those are the ones who are the national recruiting champions, if that makes sense.